This edition of the MEREDA Index comes in at 96. The index grew by 2.9% over the past year, and it grew by over 7% over 2016, the strongest growth since the recovery from when the recession began. We will hear from three experts: Craig Young of CBRE The Bolus Company on commercial, David Davin of Portside Real Estate Group on the residential market, and Matthew Cook of Allied Cook is on construction. The commercial component showed solid growth across the past 6 months, rising by 8.6% to come in at 101. Commercial lease rates and square footage were both strong over this period, offsetting weaknesses in the volume of commercial transactions and sales price per square foot.
So I think we're seeing a number of trends in the market going forward. Pricing is up both on a sales per square foot basis, particularly in core value properties, Class A properties downtown, well-located retail, well-located industrial with high ceilings. We're also seeing an increase in property values on a leasing price per square foot. Again, core properties that are well-located that meet the needs of those tenants. I think what's most surprising about this edition of the MEREDA Index is the continued growth we're seeing. So the strongest growth in the commercial real estate sector is probably residential as relates to apartments and condos. We're also seeing strong growth in the office market, particularly downtown, Class A buildings, in urban development generally. One of the key differences between the current market and the market, say, back in 2006 is the level of outside investment. We've seen an unprecedented amount of interest from folks from away. New York, Chicago, LA, looking at properties in Maine that we just didn't really quite have back 10 years ago. One of the reasons why we're seeing this outside interest is investors are getting a better return on their dollar. They're being pushed out of their larger markets by other investors, and they're looking at Maine as a place to get the returns that they're looking for. Many of these investors also have ties to Maine. They may have vacationed here, may have children in college, or may have once lived here. So there tends to be some association, but the money is generally coming from away. So one of the key issues to the success of commercial real estate going forward will be construction costs. Construction costs are expensive. It is a leading issue in many of the deals that we do, both from a redevelopment standpoint as well as a new construction standpoint. I think we've seen that across the country in both the labor force and just material costs. And that'll be something for us to contend with as we move forward. One of the surprises about the index this year is that sales volume was down. I think it's more indicative to the supply of investment properties that are out there than the actual demand. We've actually seen a lot of sales and a lot of large-scale sales, from a recent sale of the Red Bank Apartments at $87 million to several office buildings at close to $20 million and a retail complex at $20 million. So the interest is there, we just need more supply. People often ask, where are we in the cycle? Well, I'm bullish on the market today, and I think we'll see strength going forward. We probably don't have an endless amount of time to enjoy this cycle. I would guess another 2-3 years. I think it depends largely on the new Trump administration, where do we go with interest rates, and then construction cost overall.
The residential component comes in at 89. This was unchanged over the past 6 months as sales of existing units and median price remained strong, but permits for new units dropped by nearly 17%.
2017 is going to continue to be a very strong real estate market. We're going to see an influx of inventory, which is going to help with the backlog of buyers, so we can see our volume continue to increase. So interest rates are still historically low. It's a great time for buyers right now. Money is still relatively cheap. We're seeing a rise in median sale prices. We're at about, for Cumberland County, $260,000, which is the same median price that we probably saw in 2006. Of the 900 pending properties right now in Cumberland County, the median days on market is 14. That's crazy. Out of 900 homes, 14, they're only on the market 14 days. We are seeing a lot of folks moving from out of state into Maine. We're also seeing the baby boomers dominating the condo market, looking to right size. First-time home buyers are continuing to jump into the market as rental rates, keep rising. It's a great opportunity for them. Also, people that they now have equity in their home that they didn't have in the recession are willing to take the jump and move up to that step-up house. So we're really seeing movement in all aspects.
The construction component based on construction employment is at 93, and has shown significant strength over the past 6 months, up 8.6%, and over the past year, up 5.5%. This is the strongest growth in construction employment over the past several years.
We have had one of the busiest years in a long time, certainly the busiest year since pre-recession. We're enjoying a whole mix of different types of projects, from downtown commercial to higher ed projects underway, another one in the pipeline. The latest employment data in construction indicates that employment levels are back up to where they were approximately in 2006 pre-recession, but the volume of construction work is also up, so that increased employment is really still spread thin. So while the numbers are up, I think the skill needs to be developed and brought up, and really there's a great opportunity for people trying to get into the construction industry and the trades to have a very good career, earn a very good living, and if they learn a skill and put it to work. The labor shortage that we're seeing in the industry is being felt across the board. Some of the savvy owners are really seeing that the benefit lies in getting their team together early so that they can get ahead of this labor crunch and lead times that are extending in the material supply industries. If you can put your team together, secure your subcontractors, work to get to budget, you're much more likely to be able to hold that schedule that you're targeting. I think that going forward here, at least in the short term, some of these trends that we've been seeing through 2017 to date, lengthening lead times on materials, shortages of labor, increasing prices, will continue until the market really finds a balance, both in terms of the volume of work going on and the number of people available to fulfill orders and put work in place. So as the MEREDA Index indicates, we've seen a substantial uptick in employment growth in the construction industry, and that is right in line with what we're seeing out in the field for an increase in activity and work being put in place and projects being planned.
This edition of the MEREDA Index is supported by Eaton Peabody and SMRT. Thank you to our supporters.